Well, welcome to Celtic Park for the start of the new SWPL season as the champions begin the defence of their maiden title. And it's another flag day here in the East End of Glasgow, a common occurrence for the men's team, and now Celtic women can mark their own success. You see Celtic captain Kelly Clark and Scottish footballing legend Rose Riley making their way towards the podium to unfurl the flag, guard of honour for the Celtic team from their opponents today, Dundee United. On comes the Celtic team as Kelly Clark and Rose Riley get ready to unfurl that flag. The trophy is going to be placed on the plinth by Caitlin Hayes. Proudly on display, having won it once, they'll be keen to build on that achievement and go on to repeat it in this upcoming campaign. The Celtic supporters over there on the far side, relishing seeing their side celebrating the victory once more from last season. A special moment for Kelly Clark as they reflect once more on the glory from last season before setting their sights on recapturing that title. Good crowd out for this opening game. Thankfully the weather has held up so far. Never quite know what you're going to get these days, do you? But for the moment the sun is out and the fans are lapping this up before we get down to more serious business. It's a proud moment, a special moment for Kelly Clark and her teammates, many of whom played their part in that victory from last season. Rose Riley makes her way off the park. She will take in this afternoon's action. It's a huge game for Dundee United, you have to say. Really tough start to the campaign for them. All the more so perhaps because it's here at Celtic Park, a vast pitch, a lot of ground to cover, but also a moment for them to relish and try to enjoy and give the best possible account of themselves as they also look to get off on a positive footing, having survived the playoff last season. It'll be another tough ask for them to stay in the top division with 3 teams going down automatically this year. But they've made a lot of new signings, as have Celtic. going to be a change of ends. So 4, or maybe not. Celtic field 4 new signings for this season opener. Portuguese defender Bruno Lourenço, the Danish twins Signe and Matilda Carstens, and Irish striker Saoirse Noonan all make their debuts for Elena Sadiku's side. Half a dozen new signings in the United side, including goalkeeper Beth Rennie. Megan Burns comes back to make her 125th appearance. She's already the club record appearance holder, having rejoined from Montrose. Ashley Robertson, Alex Moody, Ellie May Cowie and Freya Bryan also in to start for the first time for Dundee United. So we are all set, and it will, as you see, be the champions, the title holders, to get us underway here. And they'll be looking to get off to a successful winning start. Gemma Fay alongside me. It is, as I say, really tough fixture for Dundee United. What do you expect to see from the two sides this afternoon?
Well, good afternoon, and it's great to be back. First game of the new season, and an exciting season ahead. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. We can see Dundee United have already lined up with a 4-5-1, and that's to really try and nullify this wide threat that Celtic have. Two contrasting pre-seasons. Celtic had done a lot of their signings early on, had a pretty settled squad, about 6 coming in, and they've been away down playing Everton over to Sweden, having a couple of games. Dundee United, on the other hand, have had wholehearted changes, surviving last season by 1 single point.
And there's an early opportunity for Celtic to threaten. Caitlin Hayes angles that just too much on it.
Yeah,
for Ashworth Clifford.
And then Susie Shepherd came in at the end of last season, managed to secure survival in the SWPL, and has gone on to make a raft of changes. Really young squad. I think the average age of the squad is about 18 years old, and I think the average age of this team out here today is younger than that. So this one's going to be about how can she set her team up, what can they do in moments like this when they get the ball, can they remain calm and create opportunities. But defensively is going to be the main focus here for her and her team. How can they defensively deny Celtic, who we know are a free scoring team, but how can they frustrate them and really do their basic tasks well in defence, and how can they work together as a unit? Because I don't think they've had a lot of time together, this squad, due to the nature of the loan signings and when they've come into the team. So I'll be really interested to see how they work together.
He's just putting that ball too far ahead of her, and a chance for Dundee United to try and make something of it. It's Ellie May Cowie, one of those new signings brought in from St Johnstone. That's a speculative effort straight into the arms of Kelsey Docherty. An early touch of the ball for her.
Leah Sidey can claim the first shot on target of the new season.
Here's Jenny Smith sliding that forward, and a dangerous ball all the way across goal.
An example of that expansive playing that Celtic are known for, and you know, a good ball into an area there, but Celtic not just there ready to capitalise. And this will be interesting because we know Natasha Flint, who made such a difference in that run into the season. She's off to the new league in the US, and how can they adapt in terms of the goal scoring prowess and build up play that she brought to this team. Moments like that you would have expected to see her bursting into that box. So can Celtic find a way in which to replicate that success, or find different ways to bring about the goals in this team?
Celtic, you would expect to dominate possession here this afternoon. Jenny Smith through a couple of challenges. Now Hayes always loves to join in the attacks. And here she is again. She's onside. It's a good challenge in the end from Cowie. And it will be the first corner.
Yeah, good recovery there from Cowie. I think defensively Dundee United just switched off there, and Kay's just loitering in that pocket. But good recovery to sense the danger. And we know that Caitlin Hayes kind of loves these situations. So let's see how Dundee United set up defensively.
Yeah, an early test for the visitors from this corner kick. Played short to Karstens. Oh, that's a sore one. That's a really good defensive header, but she's taken a real blow to the head there, and there's concern from her teammates. Treatment required for the United defender.
Well, it's an excellent ball into a real dangerous areas, and we can see that they're targeting Caitlin Hayes there. I'm just trying to see who that is on the ground.
Yeah, I didn't spot it myself, I have to say.
We need to do a process of elimination here, Al. Who we can see. Is it Megan Burns, perhaps? I think it might. Nope, she's up. Might be Abby Cusack. I think it might be.
It's certainly a very good defensive header, and she put herself in harm's way, and hopefully she'll be okay, but it was a pretty hefty blow she took as Caitlin Hayes goes across to...
It was an excellent defensive header, and it was also a very brave defensive header. But if that is Abby Cusack, she knows all about the danger of Caitlin Hayes.
Yeah, it is indeed.
Let's just hope that she's okay. She looks to be moving okay. In these moments where there's a head contact, it's really important that players take their time, team take their time to ensure the health and well-being of the player first and foremost. But defensively, excellent defence there from Dundee United on that corner. And a bit of a message to Celtic that if you want to use that weapon, we can match it.
Play resumes in with the drop ball. Here's Smith. No way through for her. Clark back to Hayes. It's Bruna Lourenço, the Portuguese defender I mentioned, joined from Sporting in the summer. And now Ashworth Clifford trying to find a way through. Senior Karstens now. And our twin Matilda Karstens, lovely footwork from her. Just couldn't find the final ball, but already a sign of her skill. I was reading Elena Sadiku talking about her outstanding dribbling ability, and that was a pretty decent example of it.
It was indeed, and you just saw there mostly in this opening exchanges in the match, Celtic have been dominating this right-hand side, but see a different pattern of play there, coming inside, being patient, finding feet, coming in off the wing, trying to draw the Dundee United players out of the space when you've got 9 basically sitting in a 15-yard block. It's really hard to find space, but and that's exactly what Dundee United want to do, is to force them inside to where it's crowded. So Celtic have got to be patient. Their movement between their midfield and their forward players be good to create holes and try and drag Dundee United players out of that space, and then conversely Dundee United have to be really concentrated about the player movement and try and stand their ground. And there's a great example. So movement from Noonan across there, and you just see Abby Cusack just following that player, ensuring there's no space to turn. If a shot gets off, we block the shot. So it's going to be a long afternoon for Dundee United if it continues this way, but so far so good.
Short corner's on, and that's what happens. Karstens. Back to her twin senior. Back post balls destined for Hayes. Gallagher will retrieve it. And it's senior Karstens once again. Again, Hayes is the target. She just gets something on it, but not enough to direct it back across goal. And it remains goalless.
It's going to be difficult because both Karstens look like from up here as well. So I think the dribbling is going to be the difference here. That'll help us out.
Beth Rennie, the United keeper, on loan from Hearts, just 18 years old. As Gemma was saying, it's an extremely young squad, an extremely young starting 11, including the goalkeeper.
Yeah, but what she's going to get from this is not many 18-year-olds get the opportunity to play the champions at Celtic Park, so the experience she'll gain, and I think it might be a tough season for Dundee United, but the experience she'll gain from getting first-team match plays is going to be invaluable for her in her future. Smith
finds a yard, and that should have been the opening goal. With Gallagher in that near post area, just about a yard off target.
And once again, this right-hand side, Smith gets to the byline, cuts back, and Gallagher, we've seen that so many times. That's what she has in her place, varied, so we know that she can pick it up drive and unleash unstoppable shots, but she's also more than capable of finding those spots, those areas in and around that 6-yard box, and perhaps a bit more forward placed than she was last season to try and make up for the lack of Tash Flint being in there.
Kavanagh back to Hayes. Plenty of space for Karstens. She could have gone on herself there, tried to play it into Smith, and it wasn't a great ball. Well defended by Cowie, who looks like she's going to have a really busy afternoon up and down that left flank. Gallagher nudges it in, looking for Karstens. It'll come for Kavanagh. Nudges it back to Smith now. Time to measure across. It wasn't a bad one by any means, but no takers.
No, a good cross in, just timing of that run. But the challenge Dundee United are having here is it's all very well defending the ball into your box, but they're getting caught in 2v1 situations on the side. So Cowie's getting caught in 2v1 because they're not stepping out from midfield quick enough, and that's understandable in terms of the amount of time they've had together and perhaps the intensity of the pre-season they may have had or who they've played against. But that's just going to be all day long for Celtic 2v1 on this right-hand side. But midfielder needs to get across, especially if you've got a 5 in there. You've got that spare player over there. Everybody needs to come across to try and prevent those crosses into the box, because if they don't, I can only see the inevitable goal coming for Celtic.
This one for Freya Bryan to chase. Talking of youngsters, just 16 years old. Another one on loan from Hearts. Again, it's good covering from United. They'll be pleased enough with the opening.
Yeah, I think so. I think they've contained Celtic to an extent at this moment in time. I'm sure Susie Shepherd will want them to work a little bit harder in that final third to deny crosses into that box where we're seeing some opportunities arising. But in terms of Celtic dominating possession, we expect Celtic to dominate possession, but clear cut chances, they've been limited so far. But those are the moments where you defend so much that when you get the ball, try and keep it. As hard as it may seem, try and keep it. Let your team feel the ball, have possession, because it's a long way back to win the ball back. You've worked ever so hard, and then to wastefully give it away. And I think that's one of the points we've seen a couple of times here from Dundee United is just wasteful when they win that ball back, and it's so precious when you have possession, especially against a team like Celtic.
Doherty coming well out of her goal. Hayes. Smith's won it back. Carstens, and now Gallagher. That's a good ball. And again, it's the offside flag is up in any case. Ashworth Clifford just looked to maybe misjudge the flight of that, because it did look like a good ball, but the offside flag was up in any event.
Yeah, just a step too early. But in those situations, that's when the communication between the centre halves and the centre midfields, or the midfielders, needs to come, because it was a 2v1 situation in the midfield. Both centre halves were free. The shout needs to come quickly to step on, put pressure, because whatever's coming through they can pick up. But that communication will come. It takes experience, is the one thing. We know this is a young team, but it also takes time to gel as a team. But those are the moments where Dundee United could really tighten up on.
Cowie. Free kick goes Celtic's way. He's into senior Carstens, tries to slip it through. It's Cusack away. Christie just knocks it out of play. Kavanagh forwards. That's Megan Burns knocking it out of play that time. It's not a bad ball in again. United are defending their box successfully so far. Kavanagh looking to change that. Too much in that cross though.
Yeah, you do have to say they've done a reasonable job in terms of those balls coming into the box. They've got some commanding defenders in there in terms of Cusack and Burns, who, as we've seen already, are not scared to go and try and win that ball. But positioning wise, it's all right as well. So it's good. Our new centre half pairing, taking command of that area. And so Celtic, what that tells me, it has to be a really, really pinpoint, accurate cross, and it has to be a really well timed run if they're going to get the opportunity to get that shot on target.
Gallagher, again the pass goes astray. Dundee United, as Gemma mentioned, just struggling to hold on to the ball though when they do get a glimpse of it, as Bruna picks up a little dummy there for Gallagher, and now it's Hayes, and then it's knocked back to Gallagher again. She's well challenged at the edge of the box. Chance might not be over here as Ashworth Clifford picks up, buys herself a yard. Good recovery though from the United's player at the expense of another corner.
And I just talked about positioning, but if Ashworth Clifford managed to just lift her head a wee dink into the centre of the 6-yard box, and Caitlin Hayes was completely unmarked.
Corner flighted in near post. Comes out to Ashworth Clifford, who had a goal, but rather sliced that effort, and behind, and still no goals then, and that's got to be good news for Dundee United, who did lose 9-0 away to Celtic last season.
Yeah, they can be proud of this opening 20 minutes. They've made it difficult for Celtic. They've kind of denied any sort of penetrating passes into that box, and when they have come, they've defended well from set pieces. They've looked pretty strong. The challenge, and we've spoken about already, is when they are defending, the midfield is really near enough on the defence's toes. It looks like 9 at the back, so they need to keep those internal distances. If they keep those internal distances, they can get into the press quicker, and you see they've started to step up a little bit here. I understand why they're nervous about it because of moments like this, but that's when you need your defence to help you out in terms of your positioning.
Carstens look to be caught there, but the referee allows play to continue. Celtic still in possession. There's a misunderstanding there, but no harm done. Now United pick up through Robertson. Better from United. Now what can they fashion here as Cowie gives chase. Cross comes Hayes though. Mops things up. Finds Gallagher and now Smith.
It's just a small moment in play, but it shows what Dundee United could be capable of in terms of the press to win the ball back, patience in it, the switch ball. Just a little bit lack of experience there from Cowie about what to do in a situation when you're 2v1 with the ball. Perhaps hold it up, wait for your team to get up and join you. But a nice small passage of possession there that when they do keep the ball, they can create openings.
Here's Carstens. Battling to keep possession there. Noonan. Carstens again, seen a lot of the ball, senior Carstens, and now it's Noonan with the efforts and a good save from Beth Rennie to deny her the opening goal or near post.
Yeah, the first opportunity, a nice give and go there from Noonan. First opportunity to get a direct shot on goal, and it's a really good save there from Beth Rennie, the youngster in goal. That'll give her all the confidence in the world in terms of that save that she's pulled off at the front post there.
Ashford Clifford with the corner to the back post. Hayes rises off the bar and Rennie dives upon it to prevent the rebound being knocked in. A little bit of good fortune there, but Dundee United survive.
Yeah, I think we can give them that bit of good fortune, the performance they've put in defensively in the last 23 minutes. But when you don't get it right, when you don't dominate Caitlin Hayes, that's what she can do. But Rennie alive to that rebound off the bar. I think anywhere else that's probably in, but fortunate for Dundee United not to go 1-0 down.
And Caitlin Hayes coming as close as anyone. 14 goals in the league last season. She is such a threat aerially, particularly at these set piece opportunities. As Bruna plays it out to Ashworth Clifford, onto Kavanagh, slips it to senior Carstens. Smith going into a central area. She's done well, back with Kavanagh. And now Hayes out to Gallagher. Hayes has continued her run, flashes it across goal, but just gets too much elevation and power really on the attempted cross.
Yeah, and good tracking there. Was it? I think it was Summer Christie, just to put the pressure on her that she had to lift that ball. But once again, the right side, Celtic are absolutely dominating down this right side. But in terms of end product, they're not really getting anything in at this moment, except for that one opportunity that Noonan had a couple of minutes ago.
Bryant, she's won herself and her side a free kick. It was really good forward play from the youngster.
I mean, she looks like a real physical presence up there for Dundee United, and at 16 years old, she's only going to get more powerful. But it will be a thankless task for her today, but she'll learn a lot about what it takes to be a striker in this league, where maybe you won't get a lot of service, and the role that you can play for your team.
Cusack forwards, Brian, and now it's Christie, read by Bruna, and a Celtic throw. Celtic beaten 3-0 in their final pre-season friendly against the Swedish champions Hammarby during the week after a 2-1 victory against Djurgården. It was Noonan who scored the winner in that one. Here's Smith. tracked all the way there. Really good tracking by Cowie. She's held it up, but only momentarily as Hayes now comes into the penalty area. Hayes, big opportunity. She tried to play it square, and there was a Dundee United defender in the way, and it's another corner only.
Well, you have to give credit to Cowie there for tracking all the way back, but that's when you need, I think it was Christie, should be inside you there to put pressure. Hayes unopposed into the box, and once again it's a wonderful bit of last-ditch defending from Abby Cusack.
Yeah, they're defending for their lives here. They're happy to let Celtic take these short corners, but they could pay for that here as Ashworth Clifford tries to find the top corner, and she does. Oh, it's a precision strike from Lucy Ashworth Clifford, and she opens the scoring in some style. Celtic at last, for all their dominance, find the breakthrough. Celtic 1, Dundee United 0.
Yes, you have to give credit. It's a wonderful strike, but you also have to say it's under no pressure. And that will be disappointing for Susie Shepherd. I think what we've seen in one or two moments is the attention being switched on at moments, and you can understand that it's a young team, but you can't say that Celtic don't deserve that. They've been absolutely dominant in possession. They saw the opportunity, they took it, and it's a really great curl into the corner there. I don't think Rennie really had a chance to get it. Maybe she'll be slightly disappointed when she watches it back in terms of her foot movement, because she made an attempt, but even if she did, I don't think she would have got that.
No, that was postage stamp material from Lucy Ashworth Clifford. I don't think many goalkeepers would have had a chance of keeping that one out. And Celtic at last find themselves in front. And I suppose the key thing here for Dundee United now is not to become too demoralised by that. Just keep doing what they're doing, defending as they have been doing for the most part.
Absolutely, and I think there's a number of occasions that we can demonstrate in this match already how there's been some really good individual defending, there's been some good system defending, but it is, as you said, you've got to keep that up, and in this league you cannot switch off for one moment or else you'll get punished. And that's probably the most disappointing thing about that goal for Dundee United, is all the good work that they'd done in the opening kind of 26 minutes come undone by a situation which they could have managed a lot better.
Christie doing well to win the ball back there, but the subsequent pass for Brian left the striker with too much to do. Hayes. Matilda Karstens tried to curl one herself. That's given away carelessly by Cusack, inviting further pressure as senior Karstens picks up. Fancies her own chances, but that one's well blocked. But as you were saying earlier on, Gemma, for the most part it's more or less 9 in defence for United, and on the back foot here again as Hayes plays it in. There's another corner coming.
Yeah, and it's important Dundee United stay strong and switched on to this corner. But when you have 9 in defence, it's actually a lot easier for Celtic, because it's essentially a straight line. They can play around you, they can one pass through you, and they're done. But it doesn't look like they've learnt their lesson here. A quick couple of passes and Celtic are in again.
Yeah, it's good footwork there from Karstens, laid back to Ashworth Clifford. She could go for an identikit goal, instead she lays it off to Kavanagh, quickly closed down, but she's away from Cusack. Kavanagh dinks it in, glanced into the back of the net, and Celtic do have a second goal. It was created by Kavanagh and finished by Saoirse Noonan. A debut goal for the Irish striker. Again, it all comes from the corner on the right hand side, and Noonan finishes it off.
Yeah, you got to learn your lessons. The exact same situation. Celtic actually had a 3-on-1 in that corner. Dundee United were not alive and not awake to it. I actually thought Ashford, I thought they had actually ruined that opportunity. I thought they'd taken too long because they had so much time. I thought Ashworth Clifford could have just done exactly the same, but they managed to get it out right there to Kavanagh. A lovely little dink pass in, and Noonan opening her account with Celtic in the league. with a really good header.
Yeah, she'll be delighted about that, no doubt. The one thing's for sure, playing up front for Celtic, you're going to get chances, and she has just finished one off to get her debut goal. And Celtic, having been forced to wait for the opener, have two in fairly quick succession. Here is Noonan, combining with our fellow goal scorer, Ashworth Clifford. Well challenged though. Played up to Brian. She's got a lot of holding up to do there, not a lot of support. Good work.
Yeah, she did that really, really well. She's fending off two players and still manages to find the pass back there to her support player, and they win the throw, and it's time for Dundee United to try and settle, take a little bit of time, keep the ball if they can, make the ball do the work, because they've done a lot of running off the ball this half.
You can see Elena Sadiku down below us at the edge of our technical area, pretty relaxed looking. I'm sure she'll be content with the way our side have managed to eventually find the breakthrough as they look to gel with their 4 new signings in the lineup. Easy take there for Doherty. New signings have looked pretty decent so far, Gemma, you'd have to say.
They have, but I don't think they've really been tested, if we're honest. They've had lots of time in possession. They've not really had to battle for anything. We haven't seen them put under too much pressure in defence, but attacking wise they seem to settle into this game all right, and what I would say is that you're braver than me looking over the edge of that to try and see the Celtic bench. Heights are not my thing.
Well, this is not the place to be, is it? It's one of the highest gantries certainly in Scottish football. Does give you a really good overview of the shape of both teams as Christie tries to fire that out to the far side. Too much on it though for Amy Taylor.
Yeah, she had an opportunity there. She had an opportunity just to slip that to the edge of the box for Ashley Robertson. But it was a good run by Taylor, and they haven't had many pieces of possession, but when they have, you can see the ideas of what they're trying to do, and the ideas are right. It's just the execution letting them down. Here's
Smith. He's again in support. She spent much more time in the opposition area than her own as Kavanagh turns back inside, and the header from Cusack takes it wide. I don't think that did her any favours either, but it's another brave bit of defending from Abby Cusack to keep the score at 2-0.
Yeah, a bit wild there by Rennie. She's trying to come out and make herself dominant in the box. She got just a touch on it. But fortunate to see this ball coming in here. Just a touch, takes it away from the Celtic player. Calm and collective by Kavanagh. And yeah, I think Rennie would have had that covered, but Cusack being, I'll say the word again, brave in there and taking another one for the team.
Yeah, I think that might have come off her nose or something, but it's going to take her a second or two to just shake that off. Should be fine though, I would imagine, as Celtic prepare to take another corner. Both goals have come from corners on this side. One pretty directly, the other less so, but nonetheless short corners have been Dundee United's undoing, and again, although they've had a moment or two here,
I think they're switching on now.
Yeah, there's a couple of players drifting across now.
We've got Karstens at the edge though. She wanted, she could just dink it over.
Yep. Delivery from Ashworth Clifford. He's almost taken by surprise. Cusack's back on again, and she'll have more defending to do very shortly by the looks of it, as Ashworth Clifford plays a nice little disguise ball to Gallagher, who's done really well. Gallagher now stands it to the back post. There's Caitlin Hayes. And you'd expect her to do an awful lot better there. Perhaps the presence of Megan Burns just in front of her put her off, but nonetheless, Caitlin Hayes can do better than this.
Yes, and once again, down this right-hand side, lovely little interplay. Gallagher with a lovely little dink ball there to the back. And I think you're right, though. I think Megan Burns in front, I thought she was going to get a touch on that. It's probably just put Caitlin Hayes off enough. Sometimes it's just being present, which can help. But from a Caitlin Hayes perspective, you'd expect her to bury that into the back of the net. We've seen it so many times. And that has to go back down as a big miss for Celtic.
Yeah, they're so far on top here. It's really a question of how many they will score, you'd have to say. Rennie launches it. Karsten's underneath it. How would you rate Celtic's credentials in terms of being able to defend their title successfully?
Yeah, you've got to look at a few things throughout the league. So Rangers, for example, their recruitment's been a bit slow so far this summer. I'm not sure they've replaced Rowe and McLaughlin with like and like or the same quality, but we'll see throughout the season. We'll certainly get a test of the metal when they play Arsenal in the qualifiers. Glasgow City have done a wholehearted rebuild. It'll be really interesting to see how that lines up and how they start the season. So I think from a Celtic perspective, I think there's not been huge changes, but what they've brought in is try to add quality. And it'll be really interesting when we start to see what the other teams put out in week one and get a sense of the types of threats that they have brought in to try and dislodge Celtic at the top.
That's Karstens, not far away from a debut goal of her own. A yard or so wide of the far post on the spin from Matilda Karstens, the 22-year-old Dane.
She just finds a lovely pocket of space there, doesn't she? Just uses her body as the turn, but just hooks it wide a little bit. Bit of a truer strike on that, and that could have been in the bottom of the net.
Yeah, both she and her sister, Senior, played under Elena Sadiku at Fortuna Hjørring, and they do both look like good additions to the Celtic squad, straight into the starting lineup for this opening game of the season. Slightly different players, you'd have to say, as Senior Karstens lines up in the centre of midfield. Here's Matilda, who plays slightly further forward and looks a bit more technical. Smith rolls it in, cleared. That's Brian away back there. She looks like a tidy player, though, you'd have to say, as well, on as I say, on loan from Hearts, but looks like she will do a good job for United.
Yeah, I think so. I think in terms of her physical presence, I've mentioned already, she's demonstrated already a couple of times this match her ability to hold that ball up. And I think that Dundee United is going to need a player like her. It's what they can get working off her will be important. But the other thing is they've got about 4 in from Hearts, so these players will have played with each other through the pathway. So there'll be a bit of cohesion there, and they'll know each other, their strengths. So hopefully that will work in Dundee United's favour.
Bruna in plenty of space here. Out to Ashler Clifford. And United almost inviting pressure on themselves there, and Celtic have won the free kick high up the field. Kavanagh now, big switch of play out to Smith. Hayes, as always, is available in support. Here she is. Steps away from Christie. Howie, though, in the way. The clearance only as far, though, as Senior Karstens.
Yeah,
Burns, sorry.
Just when you saw Freya Bray there, she's saying just lift it over. She was in a one-on-one situation at the back there. That would have been really interesting. I'd like to see her up against a one-on-one with Kelly Clark, because Celtic had committed all their players forward there, and now just a lifted ball over there from Cowie would have seen that situation. So there's an option. When with Celtic being so dominant in possession, so confident, they might switch off and leave a 1v1 at the back there.
Yeah, I mean they do commit a lot of players forward, knowing that they're going to be on the attack for a large percentage of the game, but that would be an interesting tussle if it materialises. Celtic have the free kick though, an opportunity to notch a third goal. It's gone short out to Ashleigh Clifford. She delivers, glanced goalwards by Amy Gallagher, but not on target, and again that goes down as a big opportunity missed. Absolutely.
Ashworth Clifford, we know she's got great delivery into that box. Amy Gallagher finds that space. She's in acres of space and she's got all the time in the world, and she'll be disappointed because that is one that should go in target.
Yeah, without question. Amy Gallagher with 25 goals last season will feel she should have put that on target and probably in the back of the net. It's good play from Cusack as she picks up once more and then plays it forward for Bryan. It's Lorenzo with her. Oh, she just tried to play it off Lorenzo there and didn't manage to do so. Goal kick only.
Yeah, she does well. A good ball forward, and you can see what she's trying to do, trying to win a corner for her team. But we haven't seen much down this left-hand side for Celtic, Bruna, in terms of her attack, and I'd like to see what she brings in terms of that. What we get from Caitlin Hayes on this side, can she duplicate that on the other side to give two real credible options for Celtic, so as an opposing team you don't really know what you're going to get.
Smith's ball in isn't really initially dealt with, but second time of asking, it's cleared. And dummy from Gallagher doesn't quite come off, it was well read. Lorenzo. Out to Hayes. Gallagher is standing on the ball, but it will come for Matilda Carstens. Good footwork from her, and tipped over the crossbar by Beth Rennie to deny the Dane third Celtic goal.
Yeah, you expect Rennie to make that stop. Carsten's showing that she's just as skillful as her sister. Good close control. Shot on target. If you hit it low, it's harder for the keeper, across the goal perhaps. But another opportunity for Celtic.
And another corner on this near side. This time it's swung straight into the box. And United managed to scoop it clear. Kavanagh's available. If Ashleigh Clifford can pick her out, which she almost does, but clearance made before it gets to her. Bruna finds the pass. And now it's Smith. It's kept in, I think it came off Howie, but no corner kick. Hayes though picks up for Celtic. And now it's Carstens. Kavanagh. Here's the run from Ashleigh Clifford. Looks like it's gone out, and it is a goal kick as we approach half time.
Yeah, you'd have to say that after losing 2 goals in quick succession, Dundee United have done well not to concede more. So if you're Susie Shepherd going into half-time, there's some real quick wins you can make in terms of how narrow your midfield are and how close they are to your back line to get a better sort of defensive shape in there. When you have the ball, what can you do to hit Freya Bryan up front? Because I do think that's an opportunity to get something, a shot, a corner, something for Dundee United to build on. There's been some good 1v1 performances out there defensively. I thought Cowie's done quite well in 1v1. She's just not been backed up by her midfield. But you can't be too disheartened to be just 2-0 down in this match. They've done well to keep it at that. So there's some positives in there for Dundee United. Your Celtic going in, there's a few things in there. So we've heard Elena Sadiku talk about being dominant. I think they could be more dominant. I think dominance comes from the intensity in which they do some things. And I think they could probably do that and be a bit more ruthless against this Dundee United team. Because I think this league's going to require teams to be ruthless to win it, because I think it's going to get better and better this year. So hopefully Dundee United don't undo this and stay 2-0 down.
Yeah, he's unable to leap high enough to get anything really on that. Four minutes added on at the end of this first period. There have been a couple of stoppages for the couple of knocks that Cusack of United has taken. And there she is, Cusack just putting that to safety. Celtic will want another one before the break to really show that they have been as dominant as Hayes lays it back and fired in, and there is the third goal. And it's Jenny Smith finding the bottom corner in first half stoppage time, laid into her path by Hayes, and an unerring shot past Beth Rennie gives Celtic a third goal in this first period.
Yeah, you thought the opportunity had gone there, but Jenny Smith finds Hayes a nice little 1-2, and that's an excellent shot. Right in the bottom corner, curling away from the goalkeeper. You have to say that they deserve it. You have to say she in particular has deserved it. She's been up and down this line. Her and Hayes have been unstoppable down this right-hand side, and from a Dundee United perspective, you've got to be bitterly disappointed that just at the end of the first half you've let that in.
There's both wing backs on the score sheet for Celtic. It's a wonderful ball, and then Ashworth Clifford just takes her eye off it. Celtic looking for another before the interval. Smith once more with Hayes advancing. Still Smith, might get another opportunity. The left foot shot does not match the ferocity of the right foot strike with which she scored the third. Ashworth Clifford gets the head up, the ball into the middle. Noonan with an opportunity to notch her second.
She just had too much time there, didn't she? too much time to think about what she was going to try and do versus it coming in a bit quicker and just her having to react. She's obviously in the space, she's occupying the space already, and she's trying to move her body to glance it, whereas I think maybe she just goes and attacks it. She gets it on target.
And Kavanagh drags her shot a couple of yards wide. The Celtic certainly good value for their 3-goal advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't deny that. You can't deny that they've created the opportunities. It took them a little while to get going, but that's to be expected. First game of the season against a new Dundee United team, unsure of how they would set up. It's certainly a different Dundee United team from last year. I will say that. I think even though they've lost 3 goals defensively, they're a bit more structured.
There is the half-time whistle, and Celtic lead by 3-0. The champions getting their account for the new season underway when Lucy Ashworth-Clifford curled one into the top corner. Wonderful precision strike from her to break the deadlock. They'd missed a couple of chances prior to that, with Caitlin Hayes having a header off the crossbar among those, but they did score the second when Kavanagh flipped the ball into the middle, and Saoirse Noonan got her debut goal to make it 2-0, heading past the keeper. No chance for Rennie with that one. And then the third goal came in first half stoppage time, as it was laid back to Jenny Smith, firing past Rennie, and so at half time it's the title holders Celtic 3, Dundee United 0.
Make sure to get your Celtic FC Women's season ticket so you can support the girls for the full 2024-25 campaign. Available to purchase online now, you'll get to be in every home game to cheer the girls on as they set out to defend their title. Buy yours now at celticfc.com/ticket. Please welcome back Celtic.
Welcome back to Celtic Park for the second half of this SWPL opener. And it's Celtic leading by 3-0 as Dundee United make a half-time change. Summer Christie, who started the game, being replaced by Stacey McFadden, who comes back to the club after 5 seasons away. That's the only change to the starting lineups, as Dundee United look to try and ensure that this game doesn't completely run away from them. Clearly they will realise that realistically they're not going to come back and get anything from the game, but what they don't want is a demoralising defeat on the opening day. But considering, I think as you mentioned first half, Gemma, considering the late nature of a lot of their signings, they've actually looked quite cohesive in that opening period.
Yeah, not too bad at all. Like as we said, there's a few things that they're trying to fix, and you can see that over there they've dropped in Stacey McFadden to help out Cowie. She's even higher up. You can see the midfielder a wee bit higher up now. It looks like they have gone to, I'm just trying to work it out here, maybe to a back 5, but I can't tell. But you can definitely see Freya Bryan sitting a wee bit deeper, just trying to work on that defensive block to keep the team together. I think the other thing as well is such a big park here at Celtic Park. They were getting quite narrow even though they had numbers there. So I think what they'll try and work on is being not too narrow in the centre to try and nullify some of the space in the wide areas.
Celtic's so good at using the width, and here's Ashford Clifford to set up an early opportunity. It was just too far ahead of Noonan. Gallagher couldn't make anything of it either, and Dundee United able to clear.
Well, they absolutely got away with that, because there should have been a body on the end of it. It was a great piece of play and a great ball across. You're just looking for somebody to slide in there.
Here's Noonan. Can't find the pass to Hayes. And here's that 1-on-1. Well, momentarily it was 1-on-1, but not for long. But there's an opportunity here for Bryan to try and chase this, but out comes Doherty, and the chance is gone.
You can definitely see the pace that she possesses there. If they can get the right type of ball, there's a bit more calm in that approach, and they nearly carved an opportunity there. I think that's where the chances will come for United.
Carstens tries a luck from distance, well over the top in the end.
Yeah, that's the danger. You can see her sister in a 1v1 dribbling situation, absolutely, but also her carrying the ball forward. What was interesting was when she was carrying it, she didn't actually want to shoot. She was looking for the pass. That was her preferred option, but she shot in the end. Maybe if she drives forward with deliberation and in terms of I'm driving forward and I'm taking a shot, it might have been more on target, but you can see the danger that she causes in that space.
Bruna forward to Kavanagh. He looks ahead of her. Sees Ashworth Clifford in space. And Again, Kelly Clark in charge of that situation as the ball came forward. Brunette trying to thread that through. Can't get past through though. Ashford Clifford. Smith will pick up. Knocked out of play. There's Gallagher. Kavanagh with a poor first touch. Might not get the shot away otherwise. He's going to get another chance. And now Bruna! Well, that's some way to open your Celtic account. From 25 yards, the Portuguese defender lashes it beyond Beth Rennie. And Celtic have a fourth goal of the afternoon.
I did ask the question earlier in the match. I'd like to see a little bit more from Bruna. What does she give in an attacking sense to this team? Well, there you go. She just shifts it really quickly to her right foot and straight as a die into that top corner. It's a wonderful strike. Disappointing for Dundee United to lose another goal so early in the second half. They have changed. They have, I think they started the match with a 4-5-1. What I think they've done is dropped back to a 5-4-1. It's a bit easier to defend coming onto the ball rather than trying to work with the midfield to stop the passes coming through by tightening up.
Hayes and Smith combining to good effect again on that right hand side. In comes the ball and it's squeezed in under the body of Beth Rennie as Amy Gallagher claims her first goal of the season. And now it's 5.
Yeah, it's a lovely 1-2 over on the right hand side. Fantastic ball in, and Amy Gallagher one touch finish. It's absolute perfection. Rennie can't get her body or move her body in time to block that. I did mention before half time that I wonder if Elena Sadiku would ask for some more ruthlessness. I think we've seen that in the opening 5 minutes of this half. We've pretty much had 3 attacks and 2 goals from Celtic.
Yeah, you've got to feel a little bit for the teenage goalkeeper there. And first real error of the game, and let's Gallagher's close range shot, it has to be said, get past her.
Those ones are just pure reaction though, and that's about how you move your body as a goalkeeper, how you can quickly turn and set your feet and then react to the ball. And I think the challenge has been she's not managed to turn and set her feet, therefore she cannot react to that ball.
Carson's asked for it and gets it and turns, and now it might open up. Just runs away from her in the end.
By dropping that to a back 5 though, it means in that midfield space they've won less, so either they need to occupy that central midfield area, or one of the centre halves, you've now got kind of 3 centre halves in there, needs to step up earlier to stop that advancement there from Carstens.
And regardless how many Dundee United have at the back, Celtic still seem to be able to create, and Ashford Clifford almost finding the sliding Caitlin Hayes at the back post as Celtic look for more.
Absolutely, it's all starting to click now for Celtic, isn't it? We saw a bit of a cautious open 20 minutes. It was a little bit off, the pass was perhaps overhit, the timing of the runs wasn't quite right. Now it seems to have been fine-tuned a bit at half-time. They've definitely stepped up the intensity in the beginning of the second half, and they've got the just rewards already. This is dangerous territory for Dundee United in terms of morale moving forward.
Smith gets the shot off. straight at the keeper though.
It's well held by Rennie. She gets her body position right, comfortable save. McFadden does well to push Jenny Smith wide, so she's going to get a shot off, but cuts the angle down. And it's those types of things that Dundee United will need to do in this half. Thankless tasks, because you'll be running a lot without the ball. A lot of it will be about how can you lessen the damage. So if you're going to shoot, can I push you wider? If you're going to get a cross in, can I make it uncomfortable for you? Those are the things that Dundee United will need to work hard in this half to keep this scoreline down. Because the way that Celtic have started the second half, they're in danger of really running away with this.
Bruna buoyed by that goal, finds Hayes, who's effectively playing as a forward player.
Well,
in this
she's
game.
playing where she wants. That's what's happening. She's essentially playing like a 10, just roaming about the field, and she's being allowed to.
Celtic's latest corner to be taken by Ashler Clifford. Near post effort. Well, somehow that's squeezed in. And Noonan hits her second of the afternoon. It's obviously something they've worked on. Terrific delivery once again from Ashler Clifford, and Noonan met it perfectly at the near post. And it's Celtic 6, Dundee United 0.
Yeah, your expectation with Celtic is that they had to do the short one on the floor outside the 18-yard box, where they go and they look for Caitlin Hayes, because usually if she's got two players hanging off her, she still gets a shot on target. That one's taken Dundee United by surprise. It's a really wicked whipped-in ball there, and Noonan gets a fantastic touch on, as you say, to get her second of the afternoon.
And the Celtic are certainly showing that ruthless edge that you were talking about in the first period. They're really turning on in the second half, and that is ominous for United.
Yeah, and I think it's also a statement. This game, the start of the season, this is a statement of how they want to approach the season. We heard Elena Stuku talk about what's your style of play, and there was a one-word answer to that, and that was dominant. That's the style of play that they have. We have a dominant style of play. We decide how we want to play. And this is really a statement to the rest of the league to say, we're back. We believe we were better than last season, and if you're going to challenge us, this is what you have to challenge.
And it really suits them playing at Celtic Park as well, doesn't it? Really allows them to use their athleticism, their fitness, their ability to use the entire width of the park. And here they are threatening once more. Hayes with her back heel. Noonan's doing a hat-trick, and she's denied it there.
Yeah, it was good covering by Megan Burns there, because that was probably, I would say, the move of the match there. Just the interlinking play, the cuteness of the passes, and she did well to get across and prevent Noonan potentially getting her hat-trick.
Carson's pass is wayward. Here's Brian. It's a substitute McFadden forward now for Cowie. He's well in charge of that. Carstens sends it out to this near side, looking for Ashler Clifford. It will get there via the head of Taylor. Tries to recover. Easier said than done. Comes back to Bruna. Kavanagh for Smith. She wants it back, Kavanagh. She might have taken the shot on there.
Yeah, wrong choice. Wrong choice. She could have just let that ball come across his body. Either had a shot, either put it across that 6-yard box. I think she wants a penalty. Maybe we get a chance to see this back.
Yeah, the referee signalled for a corner, but
Yeah, just there, she could let it run across her body. Yeah. From that angle, I think that looks like a penalty, and I think Dundee United got away with one there.
Yeah. I tend to agree. Still the chance to add the 7th from this corner as Ashler Clifford sends it back post. This time Hayes is the target. Kavanagh helps it back in. Matilda Karstens. Another corner. Ashler Clifford's deliveries have been terrific. So threatening.
Yeah, exceptional. And when you've got that combined with the aerial threat that Celtic have, with Caitlin Hayes, but you take Caitlin Hayes out and there's others in there.
She'll attack that one. It must be a 7th. Somehow it's not. Gallagher seemed destined to put that in the back of the net.
That was desperate defending there by Dundee United. And I think Gallagher's probably tying her shoelace there, thinking, how did I not get a goal there? I'm not entirely sure how she didn't, because it looked harder to not score than score.
He's back to Kavanagh. Oh, it's a good save. That's the reactions of the goalkeeper, and she's able to turn it wide to deny Kavanagh.
Yeah, it's a really good save. People might think it's straight at her, but it's coming through a sea of bodies there. And just to stand up and be able to react to that, well done.
She's got more to deal with here though. He's header back the way, doesn't find a teammate. Dundee United finding it increasingly difficult to get out of their own penalty area. Far Leicester defensive third.
Yeah, and they managed to deal with Caitlin Hayes okay in the first half in terms of corners. I think what she's doing now, which is catching them out, is instead of coming inside, she's hanging back.
Ashford Clifford fancies her chances. Beth Rennie gets everything behind it.
Yeah, so she's hanging back, and instead of coming in front, starting in front, or heading in front of the defender, she's behind, and she's causing more danger there for Celtic in terms of second balls into the box than the first ones. And Dundee United just need to switch on to that. Maybe use your body a little bit to push her further back. So actually she has to stretch back to get the ball rather than having the opportunity to run in to get the ball.
Kavanagh, it's a wonderful ball. Gallagher. Oh, Noonan should have had the hat-trick there. She just took her eye off it.
Yeah, she absolutely should, but you know, Leah Sidney, I think a slight little nudge there, the presence of her there might have helped Dundee United in that situation. And we talked earlier about the fact that Dundee United were going to have to do things like that. If you can't get that ball, if you can't get there first, what can you do to put Celtic off in those moments?
Celtic have won it back high again. Noonan just can't quite get there. Cusack able to clear. It's relentless now though from Celtic. You do feel that Elena Sudoku at half-time has demanded that they push for more goals.
Well, we knew how important goals were last year in terms of this league, so as hard as it is to go out there and take so many goals off opposition, this is the top level. And this is, you have to be relentless, you have to demand the best from your team in every game. There shouldn't be no easy game. They should be tired coming out this game because they've had so much of the ball and they've run so much. Because you cannot afford to pass up opportunities. The last 2 seasons these leagues have been so tight, they've gone down to the last day. And every opportunity you get to take the advantage, you should take it.
Elena Sudoku still demanding more from our side. She's at the edge of her technical area, shouting instructions on as Karstens gets turned. Oh, that's fabulous! Absolutely wonderful from senior Carstens, and she becomes the latest Celtic debutant to mark her first appearance with a goal, and what a goal it was.
Absolutely fantastic. You see Dundee United trying to put, I think it was Alex Moody in front in that spot where I think it was her sisters, where it was just waltzing into it moments ago. She takes the ball, she moves it, she gets round Moody, and then she unleashes an unstoppable shot. And nothing that Beth Rennie could really do there. Just cuts back there, lines it up with her left foot into the corner of the net, the side netting. And how many more of the signings have got to score today? Because they're not scoring tap-ins either. Absolutely sensational goals.
Couple of changes for Celtic as Murphy Agnew comes on to replace Saoirse Noonan, who's not going to get her hat-trick, and Hannah Kerner on to replace Lucy Ashworth-Clifford. United making a change as well. Ellie Osborne on loan from Hibs comes on to the field of play. The magnificent 7 music ringing round Celtic Park, and it really has been a magnificent performance from the champions thus far, and you feel there's probably more to come. Here's Smith. Just shifts the ball, arrows it goalwards. A good stop from Rennie. And Celtic got 9 against United last season. I wouldn't put it past them to emulate that, maybe even better it. Celtic corner near side this time. There's another opportunity certainly. There's Bruna got her head to it.
Yeah, good ball in there by Carstens, and a free header. I'd expect better from Bruna in terms of getting that ball on target and making Beth Rennie make a save.
Alex Moody was the player replaced incidentally by Dundee United for when Ellie Osborne came on in the centre of the park a few moments ago. Matilda Carson, she'll be keen to add her name to the score sheet, no doubt. Hayes into Gallagher and back with Hayes once more. Again, Celtic winning it back in a dangerous position. And spin there from Carsten. She's annoyed with herself, having created the space. She couldn't keep the shot down.
You have to say that both of the Carstens are really good in tight spaces. They know how to use their body to create space for themselves. Both can dribble really well with both feet. Both know how to dip the shoulder, create a half a yard of space to get a shot away. Distribution's been really good. They've been impressed with them both.
Burns in trouble here, pressed by Agnew. And Gallagher just couldn't finish it off. Here's McFadden. Slides it forward for a fellow substitute, Osborne. She can't hold on to it. Bruna manages to find the through ball. It's Kerner going for it. She's been out for such a long period, injured, Hannah Kerner, and it's good to see her back on the field of play. Didn't play at all last season.
Yeah, with any player and there's been a couple in this league that have had long-term injuries, just to get back into opportunity to come on in a match day and play the game that you love, it must be a huge feeling and a great achievement, and it's great to see her back. And we see a little glimpse of what we've missed over the last season, cutting in, unleashing a shot, taking that opportunity. And if you're Dundee United and you look across the subs that are coming on from Celtic's bench, it's just relentless. It's ruthless from Celtic, the quality that they've got. And that will be absolutely critical this season. As we get deeper into the season, we know that the league will remain the same this year, but the restructure will happen at the end of it. This is one of the most, if not the most, games that in a European league that you play. So the strength and depth of your bench is going to be key. And trying to keep everybody injury-free over such a long season is going to be really important. Then you throw into the mixed Champions League. There's a lot of games coming up this year.
Yeah, Celtic back in Champions League action next month. Kavanagh deflected wide off Cowie. Lucy Ashworth-Clifford to take these vicious in-swinging corners anymore. Kavanagh's gone across to take this one instead. Let's see if she can match those deliveries. The target hasn't changed, but Hayes couldn't keep the header down.
Well, I think that was like for like in terms of delivery.
Another couple of changes for Celtic. Amy Gallagher's going to be replaced by Maria McEnany, and Shannon McGregor, new signing from Hibernian, is going to come on for Senior Carstens, who's marked her debut with a goal. Self-confessed Celtic fan, now at her favourite club after 7 seasons at Hibernian. Is this a step up you feel she can make?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think Celtic would have put pen to paper if they didn't think that she could fit what they're trying to do here. She's an established player at Hibernian and will be a big miss for them this year, although they have made a host of signings. But it'll be really good to see what she can do in this team and also within the Champions League as well. So it's a fierce position to try and nail down. So let's see what she can do.
Agnew giving chase, which won't catch that one. It's been a very, very comfortable day for Celtic at the back. Not sure that Kelly Clark's broken sweat.
No, and you have to say that Celtic have probably got the easier, if we think about the top three from last year. You've got Rangers going away to Aberdeen, never an easy trip, and then Glasgow City away to Montrose. So you'd have to say that in terms of opening games of the season, Celtic got it pretty easy in terms of taking the 11th team from last year. So it'll be interesting to see how those two teams in particular respond tomorrow.
McGregor into Carstens. Agnew slips it to Smith off the uprights and then unconventionally nodded behind for another corner.
I was about to say, is that Abby Cusack again with her face on the ground, but no, it wasn't. It was Megan Burns being resourceful.
Celtic looking for number 8 of the afternoon. Oh, they almost had it there. Caitlin Hayes denied somehow, and then over the top. Well, how Caitlin Hayes hasn't scored this afternoon is beyond me, I have to say.
I was just about to say if she's going to add to her talent, then I realised she hadn't scored, because I'm with you. I can't understand how she has not scored. The amount of chances that woman has had is quite unbelievable. Not in terms of clear cut, she's missed a whole boatload, because she hasn't, but the amount of opportunity she's managed to put herself in, not just from set plays, but open play as well, has been phenomenal. I think she's been excellent for Celtic today.
Yeah, here she is again. Really great engine, always looking to get forward. McInerney wins the throw in over on the far side. Well, Dundee United would love to just get up the park for a while. If you could grab a consolation, it would mean a lot, but they haven't looked like being able to do that at really any stage, as Kerner picks up for Celtic, drives and wins her side. Yet another corner.
It's been a tough shift for Dundee United this afternoon. But they've never given up, which is a huge positive for them in terms of fighting for each other and fighting for every ball. This is not going to be the start of the season. That will come with the next match, but they will take a lot of learnings out of this.
McInerney's corner. He's again denied. I think she'll be asking herself the same question as we've been asking. How on earth has she not scored? Time yet though, and there will be further opportunities in the closing stages, you would imagine. She's still up there. She nods that one down.
Caitlin Hayes' attempts on goal will be higher than Dundee United's.
Oh, vastly higher. It's McGregor. Good football again from Celtic. Might open up for Agnew there. Not quite. Cowie able to clear, but simply given straight back to Celtic. And again, it is difficult when you're under so much pressure to have any level of composure, but I mean, Dundee United simply have to try and put 2 or 3 passes together to give themselves a break as much as anything else.
Yeah, well,
he's virtually playing up front now as McInerney forces it across goal, almost an own goal off Burns. Goalkeeper doing enough to keep it out, and then Carstens, who's still looking for her debut goal, blasts high and wide.
Yeah, that would have been so unfortunate if that gone in, so it was a good reaction save there by Rennie. But in terms of, yes, Dundee United just trying to alleviate some of that pressure. They've dropped Freya Brown back into midfield now. It's Osborne that's up front, which is making it really hard to get out, because at least you had the ability to stretch the Celtic defence a tiny bit or hold the ball up. You're just not going to get that with Osborne, but I understand why you're dropping her back in there to help out that midfield.
McInerney has been lively since coming on, and that's not too far over the top. Very ambitious from a good 30 yards out, but she wasn't far away.
No, and I think one of the learnings that Dundee United will take from this is, in terms of shots from distance, they don't want that. Those are things which can be closed down a lot sooner. I don't know how many of the goals have been lost from distance today, but quite a few. So there's a piece right there about closing down those shots, preventing that opportunity, because it does look like that's a weakness from them at this moment in time.
McGregor. It's a lovely ball for Agnew. She's got the head up. Can she pick out a teammate here? It was Smith that she was going for, but she couldn't angle that shot on target. Didn't look like a corner, I have to say, but referee in a better position than I am to judge it.
Well, there's no protestation there from the Dundee United, so it must be. But that's 3 or 4 times Agnew's just taking that little run off the left centre back shoulder into space.
McInerney over this latest corner. That's going to curl all the way behind, and last a bit of respite for Dundee United, who just be hoping the final whistle comes sooner rather than later.
What is your take on the socks up, socks down bit? I can't stand it. I was like, I didn't want anything around my ankles.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, I mean, from my perspective, of never having played at any decent level, I've always thought it was quite cool seeing people with socks at the ankles with no shin guards on.
I definitely think there's shin guards.
Oh, Agnew was in there, but the offside flag has halted her progress.
I think that's like maybe only the second offside we've had in this entire match.
Oh, Kelly Clark barely needs a rest, you would have to say, but she is going to be given the last few minutes off as Luana Munoz comes on, the Argentinian defender, sporting a extremely natty hairdo.
I thought you were going to say cool again.
No,
she's got the socks down as well.
Well, that's cool. I'm not going to make any
natty
judgment.
And cool. That is some hairdo. That's impressive.
Agnew, who has looked sharp since coming on as well. As you were talking about the quality and depth of the Celtic bench, and the players have come on. Certainly there's been no drop off as Kavanagh is denied by another good save from Beth Rennie, and despite having been beaten 7 times, she can be pretty satisfied with her afternoon's work. She's going to come under further pressure here, and Kavanagh might get another go at it. Oh, she's just trodden the ball there. Osborne trying to bring Dundee United up the park, but she can't hold on to it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not much she could have done with the goals that she conceded. Maybe 1 or 2 she'll look at and she'll think, I could have done better in those situations. But we have seen some world-class strikes. Let's be honest about it. But she has to make some big saves to keep the scoreline down for Dundee United.
He's Here's Kerner, back to Munoz. That was a great ball in, and the 8th goal does arrive, and it's Maria McInerney getting on the end of it. Fabulous ball from Munoz, and given the space that McEnany was in, I thought she must have been offside, but the flag stayed down, and McEnany adds to Celtic's tally. 8-0 he leads. What a performance has been from the defending champions.
Yeah, absolutely. I was with you, Al. I thought that the amount of time and how far she was into that box, that she must have been offside, but obviously not. It was a great ball in, but once again, too much time, and it's been the story of the afternoon for Dundee United. Not close enough, not quick enough to press to close down balls in the box, which ultimately lead to opportunities for Celtic. And I don't think I've ever seen McEnany score with her head. Maybe I've missed a few, but it was a quality finish. Sometimes when you've got too much time, you can make a mess of it, but a really good finish there. And 8-0 to Celtic, and you have to say an absolutely well-deserved 8-0 to Celtic.
Alex Logan has come on for the final few minutes for Dundee United in the middle of the park. Not ideal scoreline to come on, but certainly the United players have put a lot of effort into the game. They've had to chase and work so much without the ball, and there's just a gulf in class, in fitness, and it was always going to be a massive task for them, and you certainly wouldn't fault any of them for effort.
Absolutely not. And either Caitlin Hayes has been moved up ahead of Jenny Smith, or Caitlin Hayes has moved herself up ahead of Jenny Smith, one of the two, because she's absolutely determined she's going to get a goal today.
Kiernan back to Munoz. Kiernan again, Hayes is in there. Elena Sadiku once more. You can hear her down on the touchline. United have thwarted that attack. Just simply can't hold on to possession for more than a few seconds at a time. Unrelenting stuff here from Celtic as they look to match last season's 9-0 home victory against United. Munoz out to Kerner. It'll come for Agnew. No, she was offside. Here's Carstens, who despite the 8-0 scoreline somehow hasn't managed to find herself a goal yet either. She can be pretty happy with her debut overall. Munoz gets the call there from McGregor. He helps it back into the area. McEnany looking for her second. There it is. Maria McEnany, 2 goals in a matter of minutes to match the 9-0 scoreline from last season. And on this evidence, Celtic are going to be very difficult to stop yet again.
Yeah, she's looked so busy since she's come on. She's had real intent about her play. The ball bobbled a bit there, but she was so determined to get on the end of that, to get her second goal of the game. You have to feel for Dundee United. It's been such a hard afternoon for them. They played well first 20 minutes, managed to hold Celtic 3-0 at half time, but a couple of words in the dressing room, looks like, from Elena Sadiku, and Celtic have come out here and just ramped things up in this second half. They've looked hungry, they have looked dominant, and even with the changes they've made, as soon as one comes on, they're so hungry to start that next game, they just raise it a level again.
Yeah, that's how it appears, and the supporters chanting, "We want 10." I mean, Dundee United will be really keen to try and avoid double figures. It's dispiriting enough at 9-0. Celtic not only beat United 9-0 last season, they had a couple other 9-0s against Montrose. Looked like a high boot there from Carstens, but nothing given. Just behind Agnew though with the pass. And United win themselves a free kick.
We've got to remember the context again. Dundee United predominantly amateur players. They've got a few professional players dotted in there. The age range we have on here, it must be under 18 by 18 or just over 18. The lateness, we think, in terms of the squad getting together, there's a lot of late loans came in. The completely overhauling of the squad. Out of a squad of 22, there's 14 new players that have come into the club. And then you compare that to Celtic, who've had a pretty consistent squad. More players, more depth, brought in some more quality. They've had pre-season over in Sweden. Fully professional outfit. So there is context to this scoreline, Alan. I think that's important that everybody remembers that. But even at that, this won't be good enough for Dundee United, and it certainly won't be good enough for their manager, Susie Shepherd, who's got exacting standards. But what's important is how they bounce back from this. As I said before, the lessons that they learn. They understand that this is the best of the best. This is the standard that they need to compete at if they want to take something from this league. And with 3 teams going down this year, it's going to be extremely difficult to remain in this league. So how you bounce back from moments like this could determine how your season goes.
Munoz, a clever ball for Kerner. As Celtic look to reach double figures, which they managed once last season. Not this time though, with the Kavanagh shot heading wide. 13-0 they beat Aberdeen, that was their record score last season. Into 4 minutes of added on time. Celtic will be absolutely delighted. Elena Sadiku certainly feels like she asked for more from her side in the second period, and she definitely got it. That slightly more clinical edge to their finishing, and yeah, Dundee United have been put to the sword, particularly in this second half. 6 goals going in since the break, and it might not quite be finished yet. Certainly if Caitlin Hayes has got anything to do with it as she tries to make inroads here. Another corner to defend.
What do you reckon? She'll be happy the team won 9-0 but grumpy because she didn't score? Or
every chance.
Just to caveat that, I don't know what she's like, so I'm just guessing. I'd be a bit grumpy.
Scrambled away by the United back line. A late double change here for United. Maya Knight is one of the players who's about to come on, and Amelie Martindale the other. Amy Taylor is one of the players who will be replaced. And it's been a tough shift for these United players, that's for sure. mix up with the numbers there, I think. As Maya Knight prepares to come on for the final few seconds. And it's going to be Leah Sidey who will be replaced for the final few moments. Well, we'll have better days, you would imagine. Dundee United, they have to make the most of this experience, try and take something from it as they build for the season ahead. So Celtic still looking for number 10. Munoz has looked extremely sharp since she's come on as well.
Yeah, I've liked the different array of passes. You know, when you look at a player and I think the word we use is a cultured foot.
Yeah.
You can just see the way in which she strikes that ball. You can see the way in which she's working out what type of pass is it I want to put in there. Is it a dink? Is it? And sometimes this sounds a little strange, you get typical passes that those kinds of players would give.
Karstens has her shot blocked, still not fully away, and it's curled just over the top. McEnany looking for her third since coming on.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's got a bit of a swag about her. Is that the word I'm looking for? Style, in terms of the way in which she likes to play those passes in. It's almost like she's a playmaker in that kind of left centre back position.
It's full time. Celtic didn't manage to make double figures, but they can be very pleased with the emphatic nature of their opening day victory against Dundee United, who gave their all but ultimately were absolutely outclassed. 3 goals in the first period. Ashworth Clifford's opening the scoring. Saoirse Noonan with her debut goal, added to by Jenny Smith before the interval. Second half, Celtic really turned up the heat. Bruna got her goal in her debut. Gallagher added to it to make it 5. Noonan got her second at the near post to make it 6. Senior Karstens also got a goal in her debut before McEnany came on to score a couple to make the final score at Celtic Park. Celtic 9, Dundee United 0. There's some very good goals over the course of the afternoon, Gemma, for Celtic to look back on.
Yeah, absolutely. Some sensational strikes. For those debutants here, some of them got off to the perfect start in terms of their Celtic career in the SWPL. You've seen the strike there by Bruna, but there was a host of goals, and I said it throughout the match. There's a real statement that Celtic are putting out to the rest of the league, in terms of how they've prepared coming into this season, how ready they are, and how they know they think they know what it takes to defend the championship. There were some goals which good movement, but just unfortunate in terms of Rennie there not getting her body position round fast enough. But you can't take anything away from the finish from Gallagher. Different types of corners we saw from Celtic today. There was a lot of what I would call the traditional Caitlin Hay corners, but they changed it up. Ashworth Clifford with her delivery, and what a strike there by Karsten, number 2 or number 1. I don't know which one was born first, but what an absolute strike. And then you can't forget McEnany coming on. As we saw with every substitute that came on, they were there to make a statement to their manager. I certainly think that she's made one in terms of 2 goals, and the other contribution that she had in that match. Shot at Jenny Smith there, who was absolutely outstanding on that right hand side with Caitlin Hayes. But all in all, I imagine that Elena Sudoku is happy and content with that first game. If that's the standard they're setting from day one, she always believes there's more to come from her team. So I'll be interested to see what she says after the match, but I can't see how she'll have any complaints. First game of the season, 9-0. Looks like everybody got through unscathed, and there was positive contributions from everyone in that team.
Yeah, absolutely difficult to argue with any of that. Dundee United will go and lick their wounds and see what they can improve upon for next time out. But Celtic, worthy winners, emphatic winners at Celtic Park on Flag Day as they start the defence of their title with a 9-goal victory over Dundee United.
And don't forget,